Welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is No Dust here, and we're going to do some more budget Shaman. And we're starting at, pardon that background noise, we're starting at rank 22 today, and let's hop into the client. Now, today has been actually quite a, ooh, there's a Shaman quest. Today has been quite an eventful day in terms of Hearthstone announcements. Now, okay, let's just hop straight in, and I will talk while the game loads. So today, standard mode was announced. I'll put a link in the show notes as to the there's a video posted by Ben Brode. So he did an announcement video, and then there's also an FAQ, a frequently asked questions, and a number of things that answer. You know, that Blizzard devs tried, the Hearthstone devs tried to preempt a number of questions that players would have. And there is obviously a lot of discussion going on Twitter and Reddit, so you know, feel free to go there and have a look yourselves, see what the community is saying. So let me summarize. What is standard mode? Standard mode basically means that Blizzard is introducing standard mode, and standard mode only allows you to play with the cards. Allows you to play with content that only allows you to play with content that has been released within the last 2 years. Yeah, so the last 2 years you get to use that content plus your class cards and classic cards. So, for example, things that will be taken out will include Dr. Boom, Piloted Shredder, Muster for Battle, Shielded Minibot. So there are a number of GVG and Naxxramas cards. So that's the key thing to keep in mind. GVG and Naxxramas, and will become legacy expansions. Now, what happened? What does that mean? That means that you can't use those cards in standard mode, but alongside standard mode, Blizzard is the Hearthstone devs are retaining the mode that we currently have, which allows you to use the entire card pool, and they're changing the name to Wild Mode. So we are playing at the moment Wild Mode, which allows you to use the entire card pool ever since the game has been released. Standard mode, last 2 years, plus Classic. Wild Mode, everything's on the table. So this is quite a significant change for a number of reasons. And do we coin out? Yep, let's do this. This is a significant change for a number of reasons, not just for, you know, I mentioned Dr. Boom has been an issue in the metagame, I believe, for a long time, and he's going to be taken off the table in standard mode at the very least, and that will change, I think that will change a lot of how people play the game. And it's just been released today, so to give you some context, the day of recording is the 3rd of Feb 2016. And yeah, so like many others online, I'm just reacting and trying to process the information. There are a couple of questions in the air as to how the legacy expansions and adventures will be made legacy. At the moment, it appears as if they will be turned into, they'll form part of, say, like a legacy collection, and you can craft them with dust, but you won't be able to earn them via, say, like adventures and packs. Like, say, once standard comes out, I think you won't be able to buy GVG packs anymore, and you won't be able to buy the Naxxramas adventure anymore. That's what I believe will happen, but things are obviously apt to change before the actual ship date, so we never know what's going to happen. I think I will frog this, because that's going to prove to be quite an issue if I just leave up a 2/4, because it challenges all of my totems. And apologies, I'm not really focusing on the game right now. Let me actually just note down game one, Priest. Yeah, so it's some quite exciting news. Hope you guys get a chance to have a look at the FAQ and so on and so forth. I think we developed the Valiant. Yeah. Yeah, have a look at the FAQs. Have a look at Ben Brode's announcement video. And all the links will be in the show notes, and you know, make your own decisions. There are some people who are happy, some people who are not. You know, with any sort of change, I do believe that you know, there's always going to be a number of opinions floating around. But in my opinion, this is good. I think that reasonable change, any sort of reasonable change, is good for the game. You know, it mixes up the metagame. It you know, like just forcing people to not play Dr. Boom. I like it. Now this is an awkward turn because yeah, what do I do? Do I just hold it? Yeah. Or do I have to push out with the Argus? If I push out with the Argus, this becomes a 1/3 and it absorbs 4 damage. I don't think I need to absorb 4 damage. Let's just sit on it. Okay. Yeah. So I think that's that for the standard mode announcement, and we will be talking about that throughout this month. Okay, so the other thing that I did want to talk about is where is this series going? This series going in the advent of standard mode, and I think that standard limits the card. Okay, let me just think a little bit. Okay, because I'm trying to do multiple things here, and it's causing my brain to feel funny. Okay, 3 to 4. I think I can Pyro, Lightning Storm, Lightning Bolt, and that's 6 mana. Let's do the Lightning Storm first and see how things go, because I might get a really lucky clear. No, not quite. But the Lightning Bolt will do work for me. It does set us quite far behind in terms of overload, but we do get a full board clear. Hopefully we can come back into the game. Anyway, so where is this series going once standard mode comes out? And I think standard mode is going to come out. I'm not sure. There isn't an exact date. I'd imagine that if they're announcing something like this, the ship date would be, say, probably about 2 months away, maybe 3 months maximum, because you don't... I do remember there was a Ben Bro video talking about, like, you don't want to announce things too far in advance, because then people just get annoyed that you haven't shipped it, and then you're being, like, there's a perception that you're being lazy, which I'm sure the Hearthstone devs are not intentionally being lazy. And yeah, thanks to our overload, we have a tough turn, although the 1/1 is really useful here. Yeah, so once standard comes out, I will be transitioning the series, so let me note that down. Transitioning the series to standard mode ladder climbing, because standard is more accessible for new players, because you don't have to get any, you don't need the cards from more than 2 years ago. So essentially those legacy expansions, you can collect them for fun, but you don't have to, and that's pretty cool. Now, what do we develop here? Do we develop Shredder? I could possibly go Commander Direwolf, but that doesn't really do anything for me. Commander will clear the 2/4, but then it gets taken out really easily by the Dragonling. So I think we go Shredder, Totem. Yeah. The problem is the priest got tempo on us thanks to the Shattered Sun Clerics, which is not something you usually see in priest. But okay. What are we looking at? So he's going to draw more cards. Okay. So we're not looking great this game. Both of these classes are highly dependent on tempo because of their hero powers being so untempo. Yeah, so now I'm going to have a lot of trouble facing this down. And, we're going to lose this game. I'm pretty sure we're going to lose this game. I could luck into like a... Even if I lucked into a... I don't even know what I could luck into. Anyway, I could Argent... I could Wolf Argus. Totem Wolf Argus. And hopefully what comes out of the Shredder is something good for me. Yeah. So I'm not gonna Argus. I'm gonna Argus the... Yeah, I'm gonna Argus the Totem. This brings it up to 6 attack, and I get to clear the Stormwind Channel. Now the 4/2 is not too bad. I think I'm still... This will absorb 3 damage. I think I'm barely alive. Because it'll take, say, this, and there's only 6 damage remaining. I am dead to Holy Nova. So, yeah, a lot of tempo issues with classes, with slower classes like Priest and Shaman. And don't know what we can do about that. Yeah, so going back onto the standard mode, what I intend to do, yeah, I'll be transitioning the series to standard mode ladder climbing, and we will still be following the rules of no epics, legendaries, or adventure cards. But I guess the upshot is we will be missing out on fewer resources as opposed to as opposed to just keep going with wild and you just keep running into Dr. Boons and so on and so forth. It really is the really powerful cards hidden inside adventures and powerful cards that come across as epics and legendaries that make games difficult for newer players. So, say for example, things like Mysterious Challenger. You need to craft one, or you need to you need to craft one, and it's not cheap to craft one if you're starting out. Anyway, we lost a game there. That's fine. Probably was a little too distracted talking about standard mode. So let's actually buckle down and focus for game 2. Just a reminder, we're still leveling up level 5 Shaman. Let's see how we go. Okay, and I will skip to the mulligan. Okay, don't want this sort of start. Against Priest, let me look at my list. So let me bring up my overlay. Against Priest, you probably want to start with... this is an okay sort of start. But probably want the abusive, probably want a Knife Juggler. Yeah. Ideally abusive, maybe even Earthshock. Earthshock can do good work against Priest, I believe. But as is, we're just going to pass. And hopefully we don't run into...
Is someone injured?
Okay, it's fine. Now, toteming does open up the potential for him to heal my totem. But that's not too bad. It slows him down quite considerably. The reward for him is, he draws a card. But you spend your entire turn 2 to draw a card. I don't think that's... Okay, so that's not what's going to happen here. This is actually quite good. I can Flame Tongue up and... Okay, you got a coin to clear? No, okay. I can Flame Tongue up and then Earthshock. I mean, Flame Tongue. I don't think I need to spend a Lightning Bolt to clear the Northshire. I think I just Flame Tongue to get the freebie clear. I don't think I need to use the Lightning Bolt, because I don't think this thing is high enough threat for me. There's no... I mean, he can get another draw. Okay, so the pain on that... It was going to happen anyway. That's fine. And Argus, yeah. You know, I'm starting to feel that the Argus is probably overreaching a little bit. Let me just note that down. Argus, a little too hopeful. Probably need a bit more early game to make Argus work. But let's try a few more games and see how we go. Yeah, okay. So the Valens is problematic as usual. Though we can Azure Drake. There's nothing really else that I can do. And the Azure Drake conveniently challenges... I mean, it doesn't challenge the Cleric, but the Cleric doesn't challenge the Azure Drake either. So yeah, I may actually take the Argus out. I put it in last time just for some more flexibility, but I don't think this game this list has enough early game to justify the Argus inclusion. Like, I'd need a couple more 1-drops, I believe. Okay, and I think I can clear this thing. Let's see. So I can buff it to 6 and then Lightning Bolt. And I can Argus up. Okay, I think that's worthwhile. There is a consideration to not Argusing the Drake, because then it becomes vulnerable to death. But the Drake absorbing a death, I'm not too upset at. Yep, and then we get an Argus and Lightning Bolt. Now it's worth spending a Lightning Bolt on the Cleric. Having my opponent having spent a shield and a Valens on it. Although ideally a Hex would have been better for me to use. But the Lightning Bolt's not too bad. And we're sitting very powerful now. I have locked myself out of this Stormwind Champ turn 7 play. Okay, Shadow Madness on this is not too bad. Not too bad, honestly. Okay, and a Death and a Pain. He's playing very, very defensively. I don't know why. I don't think it's that necessary to play that defensively. I mean, in my opinion. So now we have a strong turn 8. I can Champ, or I can Pyro Lightning Storm if I need to. Yeah, I think he's playing it overly defensively. I wouldn't spend a Pain on a 2-3. I'd spend a Pain... For me, I would spend a Pain on, really important targets, such as Knife Jugglers, and so on and so forth. Now, so there's a couple of lines of play. I can Stormwind Champ, and then get the freebie, or I can Thunder Bluff totem. I think getting the freebie makes the most sense. I think so. It's hard to say. Yeah. Because this spreads out my board, whereas this concentrates my board on the Stormwind Chap. And if the Stormwind Chap gets taken out, I'm looking pretty sad. Although, you know, you still have a 4/4 left over. So it's not too bad. Whereas spreading out the board, there are pros and cons to each side. Okay, the Master Spell is fine. I'm not concerned about that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the quality of the deck or the quality of my opponent's deck building is quite at the same level of the opponent I was facing previously. You're going to circle. Okay, that's fine. I think I Lightning Storm to protect my Stormwind Chap. A Lightning Storm Valiant, yep. I have a second Lightning Storm in hand. It's not that bad to overload yourself in the late game. There really wasn't much else that I was going to be able to do there, but next turn I have a fair number of plays, and I don't think I'm going to need the full amount of mana. I'm going to have 8 mana, so I think we're still going to be able to do whatever we need to do next turn. Yeah, just the main thing was to get rid of the Orkney. Now this is interesting. Okay.
Is someone injured?
I think we Lightning Storm again. Oh, actually, I can Alpha Darkline. Yeah, that works. And let's see what the totem comes out. Let's see what we get in the totem. That's really nice, actually. Okay, so we will get a efficient clear on the Valens. I mean, the what's his face? What is his name? Prophet Valen, and we're somewhat vulnerable to. Oh, we got an Inner Fire Death. Okay. Or Light Bomb? There it is, Light Bomb. That's a very defensive turn, but I don't actually have much left in hand either, so... Oh, that's pretty good. Yep.
I am freed from the curse.
Okay. And we'll push out with this. I think that will do for now. Yeah, the Maiden... The thing is, Maiden is good early. I think Maiden has a very specific place in the mid game, because late game you sort of don't need that amount of you don't need that sort of budget, but in the mid game you do need that sort of budget because your hand is full and you have a lot of cards you want to play, and being able to do the things you can do with Maiden can be quite powerful. Okay, so you've got a lot of card draw on the board. Commander. Do I hit? It draws him 2 cards. Well, there's no reason not to totem first. If I can find a spell power, now that's not too bad either. The question is, do I want to clear the 3/6 or do I want to clear the 1/3? I think the 3/6 poses more of a threat. And coincidentally, yeah, let's clear the 3/6. You get 2 draws out of it, but the thing gets dealt with because the danger is if the 3/6 draws a card and then heals, and he can draw more cards out of it. And this board is quite vulnerable also to a big Lightning Storm. So if I get a lucky spell power totem, now what are we looking at here? Is this a Holy Nova turn? I'm sensing a Holy Nova. Yep, there it is. That's fine. And actually, he's looking to get into fatigue. He's drawn so many more cards than I have that I could have actually pushed for the fatigue, and that play previously did push for the fatigue. And at some point, okay, double zombie chow? I don't quite understand. You know what? I'm just going to sit and wait. I'm just going to sit and wait it out. Yeah. I can take this sort of damage. There's not much on the board here. I'm going to sit and wait it out, And if I luck into a spell power totem, I can clear and gain 10 health. So there isn't really much threat on the board, really, because of the double zombie chow and the fact that he's only got 3 cards left. We can just play the fatigue game. I'll just wait it out. I don't think there's much that can go wrong, especially since I have a number of quality cards left in my list. Yeah, so let's just wait for my priesty friend here to decide what he or she is going to do. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Okay. It's fine. Earth Shock. I don't want to Earth Shock anything. Here we go. Let's do this. We'll get the 10 mana. We'll get the 10 health. So doing it now, I get the... So I force him to draw a card, and I get the full benefit of the healing, and we lucked out with the 4 damage on the Voldia. That's really powerful, actually. Question is, do I want to develop Knife Juggler? Let's hold on to the Knife Juggler.
Almost out of cards.
Yeah. Because he's going to run out of steam eventually. I have 2 hexes in here. I don't think I've spent any of the hexes. I don't recall spending any of the hexes. And now the Earthshock will do pretty well on that. Although I don't even need to Earthshock. Yeah. Kraken, excellent. Kraken. I can't Kraken right now, actually. That's fine. I think I can just pass. Let's totem up and see if we can get a spell-powered Earthshock. No, that's not quite it. Okay, do we want to Earthshock the Orkanai? No, not right now. Let's just wait. We can just wait it out. My opponent is going to run out of resources, and I'm not really at any health risk at the moment. I have Heal Bot, and you know, I have a chance to get a Taunt Totem every turn, so we can last out the late game. And with 3 cards in hand, you have to deal 28 damage, plus another 8 damage on top of that with the Heal Bot, so I don't think it's going to happen for my opponent here. Okay. You healed yourself? What? Okay. Looks like, yeah, he's going to concede. Looks like it. Could be wrong. Here we are. This works. So leaving the healing totem up against the Shaman, not usually a good idea. Because we gain value, and as long as we gain value, the game will end with fatigue. This thing is not going to be able to kill me quickly enough. That's 5 damage a turn, but okay, you can MC that. Okay, that may be an issue actually. No, the Sunwalker will actually protect me. So let's see how we go. Sunwalker. Okay. We should be able to buy enough time because there's nothing else in his hand. If there's a second MC, we might be in a little bit of trouble, but I don't expect there to be. So heal, trade in with the Kraken. And I do have hexes in this list. Okay, circle heal. What? Why didn't you circle heal with the Orkanai? Because the Orkanai... Trade in, circle heal with the Orkanai, you could have gotten 9 damage on my face. Yeah. Anyway, we got Totemic Might, which is... I'm not making any changes for Totemic Might. Okay, and that was a fairly long game, but we will do at least one more, so let's skip to the mulligan. Okay, Pyro will be useful, although I don't have the coin. It'd be really nice with the coin, but if I pick up a Lightning Bolt or an Earthshock, oh yeah, here we go, see Earthshock, or even the Hex will be really nice. Something such as a Pyro Hex on a Mysterious Challenger will be very, very good, I think. But yeah, again, I'm not super experienced with this sort of list. I'm not super experienced with Shaman in general. Now, let's actually... He may have a Knife Juggler in hand. So the thing is, if there's a Knife Juggler in hand, he can trade the Horn... So the most disastrous thing is, I play Knife Juggler, he plays... I develop Knife Juggler, he develops Knife Juggler, and then he trades his Haunted Creeper into my minion, and then ideally one of the knives hit. What's the likelihood of that? It's 4 out of... And he coined out the Creeper. I think if you coined out the Creeper, you probably have the Knife Juggler in hand. So let's play around that. And this is actually quite nice because then I can knife juggle Earthshock this thing to get a very neat clear. Okay, and even Earthshock on the Secret Keeper will do great work. Yeah, excellent. Now the thing is, it may result in an avenged. It may result in an avenged Haunted Creeper. I think that's okay. And it wasn't an avenged Haunted Creeper. Interesting. So it's not avenge. It's not redemption. It's not a bring you back to life thing. It's not redemption or revenge. It could be the one that sets your minions' health at 1. So let's stick with developing totems. Oh, okay, it's a competitive. I always forget about competitive. Don't forget about competitive. Although competitive itself isn't a huge tempo secret. It doesn't do a huge amount of work for Paladin, I don't think. I mean, it can be good, but I think you paying 1 mana to give 1 minion 1/1 isn't great. You'd ideally want to hit 2 or 3 minions with competitive. Okay. Should we throw some bombs? Yeah, let's do it. Allows me to test. Now that's a little unfortunate that, but it does allow me to test for revenge. Okay, now this thing is getting hexed next turn. I don't think he's going to trade it into my... And if we get a taunt totem, that's going to be excellent. And the 1/1's good too. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm hexing the spider next turn, since we already spent the Earthshock. Yeah, so the Earthshock's actually not too bad against Secret's Pally. And I would like to save the hex for... I would have gone face there, actually. Go face and then swing with the hammer at the bomber, because you're missing 3 damage there. Okay, so we hex. Do I pyro hex? No, I don't. I think I totem hex. Yeah, to just draw fire from his cog hammer. Oh yeah, that's fine. Yep, so we're looking pretty good here, and I have a defensive Sunwalker play to answer his... well, I get to go first, actually, so I'm assuming there's a secret... what's his face? Mysterious Challenger in this list.
I'll never tell.
Now, a Lightning Storm will actually do so much work here if I can find it. Or even something that just burns. Something that allows me to burn with my... Okay, Healbot isn't what I'm looking for. But Sunwalker is defensive enough to require him to trade basically his entire board into it. He could buff up his Secret Keeper, but I don't think he's got enough. He'll have enough secrets to buff it up so that it has a favourable trade against the Sunwalker. Yes, I think Sunwalker is still fine here. I would have really liked to have one of my Lightning Storms in hand. This is really the perfect situation to use the Lightning Storm. So it's probably going to be Knife Juggler weapon trade-in. Yeah, I guess one of the things about Shaman games, especially this type of Shaman that I'm playing, the games are going to take longer than, sometimes my rogue games tend to finish fairly quickly because of, you can tempo them out or things like that. Now we're really looking for a Lightning Storm. So come on, Lightning Storm. Drake won't draw me into Lightning Storm. I think I juggle Healbot. I could juggle Drake, actually. Juggle Drake. Yeah, and that'll draw some fire away from my face, and we can Healbot later. Yeah, I don't really need... And I don't need an empowered Lightning Storm to deal with this board. And this allows me to cycle, so I get an extra chance. That was actually a pretty good knife. Hitting that taunt allows my board to do some more work. So cycling that 1 card with the Drake makes it more likely that I draw into Lightning Storm next turn. So what are you doing? You're going to consecrate me. Yeah, that's what's happening. But at the very least, I will gain full value from the Healbot this time round. And his hand is pretty small. So I'm not super concerned about the damages coming my way. We can Crusader Healbot. Although Crusader isn't great. Now Horse Rider is actually much better, yeah. I think Horse Rider, clear the 5-2. Healbot? Yeah, why not? Because Crusader goes down quite neatly to the 2/1/1s, whereas this board less likely to go down to the 1/1s. Okay, so this is sword. Okay. Now we're still looking for our lightning storms. I'd really like to find them. And at this point, if I pick up an Argus as well, the Argus is also... Oh man, I really don't like... Yeah. Hex. Oh, I'll spend a Hex on that if I have to. So, okay, this is really rough. Just having our lightning storms in the bottom of our list. It's just going to be a problem. I don't think we can survive now. How much damage is there? 11 damage. So I'm dead to Hammer. I'm dead to Kings, and I'm dead to Blessing of Might. Okay.
Reporting for duty.
Yeah. Okay. And I think we're dead anyway because of the old Murkai. Yeah. I think we're done. Let's just see if let's just wait for him to see it. So what could we have? Yeah. So if I had the Hex in hand and if I had the Lightning Storm in hand, it could have definitely turned the game. There's not much else to it. You should have traded with my... What are you doing? So you miss lethal there. That's going to be quite significant, actually. If I draw into Lightning Storm, we actually have a chance to stabilize. Although not much of a chance. Honestly, there's going to be a ton of damage coming my way. Nope, not happening. Okay. Yeah, so I'm still gaining my sea legs with this Shaman list. So I don't expect this climb to be as, how to say, as smooth as the Season 2 road climb. Because, well, I'm just not as familiar with the deck, and it will just take some time to learn up on these things. How much? Let's do one more game. I'd like to squeeze in one more game, and ideally reach level 10 before. Well, I mean, not in this video, but within the next video, maybe the one after. Okay. And based on how desperate I was for that Lightning Storm last game, and we're just running into so many priests. 3 priests and a Pally? Wow. Just based on how desperate I was for a Lightning Storm that last game, I think that against classes, like, see, if for example, I'm facing off against a Warlock or a Pally, and you can assume that sort of aggressive start, and even against a Hunter, and less so against a Hunter, because you need more direct answers that don't slow you down so much. Against the Warlock and a Pally, I think it might be worth keeping a Lightning Storm in your opening hand. Oof, a little bit unlucky, but that's fine. Yeah, so I'm going to try and keep that in mind. You know, it gives you a little bit more insurance against the aggro deck type. Yeah, gives you a bit of insurance against the aggro deck archetype, and that's definitely what I will be doing in the future if we get a chance to mulligan, and you know, you get to keep a Lightning Storm. The disaster thing, the thing that could be disastrous, however, is that you get a Lightning Storm and then you draw another Lightning Storm. You mulligan, you keep a Lightning Storm, and you get another Lightning Storm. Having 2 in hand, I mean, it's not that bad, but it slows you down. Here we go, we have 2 in hand. Luckily, we do have some plays, although next turn is going to be a little bit awkward, since I don't have a turn 4. But, you know, a shot might come in handy depending on what my opponent plays. And this heal bot will actually definitely come in handy since we've already taken 21. We've already gone down to 21 health for some reason, mainly thanks to the Mind Blast and Bomber hitting me twice. Not a very friendly Bomber. Yeah, so hopefully this game goes a little bit better. We're actually facing a fair amount of stiff competition at rank 22. But, yeah, I'd like to at least get 1 win and then at least turn the page over rank 21 and then, you know, make some more progress. Let's see how we go. Okay, that's fine.
Is someone injured?
It's fine. This may actually merit a lot. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't merit the Lightning Storm. No, it doesn't. No. Now, my opponent can get value by hitting my Searing Totem and then healing up. But again, that slows down the priest so much. You really only want to do that when you have... Okay, so the pain and the hit. Okay, that's fine. You really only want to do that when you have like a circle heal, I believe. Okay. Now the Lightning Storm will work here, but I think... Yeah, the Horse Rider does a better job. Horse Rider will challenge the board better for me. Let's totem up, see what we find. Okay, that's... That's quite useful, but...
Don't worry, lads. The cavalry's here. Yeah.
And I probably should have played the Horse Rider on the other side of the Wrath of Air Totem. It's just a habit that I have to play around things like Betrayal, because Betrayal, if you're not familiar with the card, it causes the minion in the middle to deal its attack damage to either of the minions on the side. Same mechanics as something like Explosive Shot, you know. If you have a not so good minion in the middle, then you don't lose as much. Okay, now this will buff. As Stroke will actually buff my Earth Shock to 3 damage, and that allows me to clear the Yeti. I think that's worthwhile. What's the other play? Shredder Totem? Shredder Totem's not that strong. I think I will take the tempo play of the 3 damage Earth Shock and clear his very important Yeti. Yeah. And he's running out of cards, although he does have the draw mechanic of the Cleric, so we will have to see. Yeah, double Lightning Storm. I don't know. Whenever I've played Shaman in the past, I've always been, tossing and turning about whether double Lightning Storm is a worthwhile include in a list, because it's not a great hand to have. And if you've followed my previous series, a lot of people say, oh, your list looks like a Reno list because you have so many one-offs. But my philosophy there is, if it's disastrous to have 2 copies of a given card in your hand, then you probably shouldn't have 2 copies of a given card in your list. So say, for example, like Lightning Storm, it's almost disastrous to double top deck into a Lightning Storm. It's not as bad as certain other things, but it can be bad. I think we clear. Do I spend a Lightning Storm here? Lightning Storm, and then I would probably be Shreddering. Yeah, and let's see if we get the lucky roll on the 2-4. If we don't get the lucky roll, then I'll run into it. Okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm not too fussed about that. And we can develop Shredder. Yeah, so I was going to wait for the lucky roll. If we lucked out, gotten the 50-50, then I could have applied 4 damage to the Priest's face. Although, right now it doesn't make a huge difference, honestly. So, you know what? Let's actually... I'm going to... In some of the slower games, let's actually in slower games think about cards we will lose from the standard format. So actually, just mousing over the Healbot. Healbot is leaving the standard format. I wonder what that does to the game, because you no longer have that really powerful turn 5 heal. Although Reno is still around, but Healbot I think is a little faster than Reno, because although Reno heals you for your entire health, that 6 mana makes a big difference. Because you can't, 6 mana, it just reduces what else you can do on that turn. Whereas Healbot, you can say Healbot into a Sludge Belcher. Sludge Belcher is also actually leaving the meta. So that's going to be a really interesting thing to talk about. So let's chat about what cards we will, what cards are leaving the meta in standard. So we're losing Sludge. We're actually losing explosive. What's it called? Explosive Ghoul, Unstable Ghoul, which I'm really a big fan of Unstable Ghoul, and I really like Unstable Ghoul. But it's leaving the meta that these things happen, and I don't want to take the RNG on the Shredder just yet. I don't want to have to RNG the Shredder unless I have to, because Shredder is also leaving, but you won't be missed, Shredder. Because Shredder is just like a powerful 4-drop. It doesn't really... How do you say? There isn't a ton of counterplay against the Shredder, aside from, having some silence mechanics. But Healbot itself represents a certain type of deck archetype. Say for example, you can... Ooh, okay. I think I Argus up here. Now we have 5 mana, so... Yeah, I think we Argus up. And Argusing these 2 is fine because it gets to challenge the 2-1, so let's do that. Okay. And I think Maiden is fine here because I get to spend that mana very efficiently, and we're fairly resistant against Priest AoE. The things that will die are my totems. So Light Bomb will take out my totems and the Shredder, and Holy Nova will only take out my totems. So we're pretty good. We're sitting pretty against Priest AoE. so not too concerned. Another thing that's going to leave the meta, Lotheb. And I think that's going to make a huge difference, actually, because Lotheb is a Nax card. What sort of new lists are going to come out? I mean, you know, if Lotheb leaves the meta, are we going to see the resurgence of Thurisan combo stuff? I mean, not that that stuff doesn't already exist. It does already exist. Okay. Lightning Storm for 3 to 4. Does that make any sense? Or is it better to develop the Kraken? I think it's better to develop the Kraken. Now, before I develop the Kraken, I will trade off this just to see what happens. Okay, that's fine. That's not too bad. Okay, and we will double trade here to get the 1 drop. Okay. Yeah, the disastrous thing would have been if I had rolled into a Doomsayer. That would have been disastrous, or anything. Just a Doomsayer at this point, because anything else I can sort of absorb that sort of bad RNG, but a Doomsayer would have been pretty disastrous. So I wanted to trade off the Shredder. Often it's a good idea to trade off the Shredder before you develop any important minions, because if you develop the minion then trade off the Shredder and you get a Doomsayer, you're going to be very sad. I would have been very sad. And now we're sitting very pretty, very pretty. And I don't need the healing right now, so let's just hold on to it. Would have really liked a healing totem, actually. And we're basically done. I don't think there's much the priest can do from this point. A Holy Nova will help. What else? Like a Thought Steal into a Hex, into the second Hex that I haven't drawn. Or a Mind Control. Mind Control will save him for 1 turn. Okay, the Pain, yeah, there's not much going on there. So we basically have this game in the bag. How much damage are we looking at? No, so he's just slightly out of range. No, we're okay with Lightning Bolt now, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, let's just attack with all our minions first. Yep, we're okay with the 4 damage Lightning Bolt. Okay, at least we have a positive win ratio. And we should be on rank 21 now. Yep. Wind Speaker, not something I'm using either. But yeah, it was good to get some more experience playing, and I will do a quick print screen to grab our rank. Okay, and I think we're going to leave it there. So thanks in advance, guys, for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I do this with love, and any gestures of appreciation are much appreciated. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys had a lovely day, and I will be back with some more Shaman ladder climbing, and we will chat more about standard mode changes. You know, the things that are going to come out of the meta are just really significant. And I wonder how for one, it will shake up the meta, but then then things will settle, and then. Yeah, really excited. I think this is a very positive change, and I'm very much looking forward to it. So yeah, links in the show notes if you guys are curious about what is going on with all this standard mode talk. Until next time, I will see you guys. This is No Dust signing off.